You know, when you really stop and think about it, the sheer variety of life on this planet is just mind-bending. I mean, from the tiniest microbe to the biggest blue whale, it's this incredible, beautiful mess of life. So today, we're going to dive into how scientists actually make sense of all this chaos. All right, just so you know, this explainer is part 15 of a 20-part biology series we're doing. So if you've been following along, welcome back. And if you're just jumping in, hey, this is a perfect place to start, because we're tackling one of the biggest puzzles in all of biology. Take a look at that number, 8.7 million. Let that sink in for a second. That's the estimated number of different species that we share this planet with. And what's really crazy, that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. There are millions more we haven't even found yet. So how in the world do you even begin to organize all of that? That is the big question, isn't it? It's something scientists wrestled with for ages. You can't just make a giant list. That would be impossible. You need a system, something elegant, something that works for everything. And what biologists came up with is absolutely brilliant. The best way to think about it is like a massive planet-sized library. You wouldn't just dump all the books in a giant pile, right? Of course not. You'd organize them. Well, biology does the exact same thing for every living thing out there. It's a system called classification. And here's the key. This isn't just about grouping things that look alike. The whole system is built on two really powerful ideas. First, grouping organisms by what they have in common, like having a backbone or wings. But even deeper than that, it's about mapping out their family tree, their evolutionary relationships. And the system they created is this beautiful hierarchy. It's kind of like those Russian nesting dolls, where each one fits inside a bigger one. It starts with the absolute broadest category, which is domain. Then it gets more and more specific. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, all the way down to the nitty-gritty of genus and species. With every step down, the picture gets clearer and more detailed. So for our chat today, let's focus on that very top level. This is the foundation for the entire system. We're talking about the three domains of life, the first and most fundamental split in all of biology. And here it is. This is the big picture. You can see how all life seems to branch out from a single common ancestor, splitting into these three enormous branches. Those are the three domains. This is the starting point for classifying anything and everything. Let's break them down. First up, we've got bacteria. These are single-celled little powerhouses. Their DNA, their genetic blueprint, isn't neatly tucked away inside a command center or a nucleus. Nope, it just kind of floats around inside the cell. These are what we think of as true bacteria, and they are everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. Next, we have the domain archaea. Now, these guys are tricky. At first glance, you'd probably think they're bacteria. They're also single-celled, no nucleus, but they are fundamentally different. For a long, long time, we thought they were bacteria. It wasn't until we looked at their genetics that we realized, whoa, this is a completely separate branch of life. A lot of them are extremophiles, total daredevils living in boiling hot springs or super salty lakes, places we thought nothing could survive. And finally, there's our home team, domain eukarya. This branch is us. It's every animal, plant, and fungus you've ever seen. So what's our claim to fame? Our cells are way more complex. Unlike the other two domains, we have that special compartment, a nucleus, to keep our precious DNA safe and sound. Okay, so we had these three big domains, bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. But what does that really tell us? Why does it matter? Well, it turns out this system is way more than just a fancy filing cabinet. It's actually a map of life's incredible history. And this, right here, is the real magic. It's not about stuffing species into neat little boxes. It's about seeing the connections, the deep, ancient threads that tie you and me to a butterfly, to a giant redwood tree, and yeah, even to one of those crazy extremophiles living next to a volcano. It's all one big family tree. And that really brings us to this powerful idea. The entire system we've been talking about, this whole library of life, it only works because of evolution. It's the story of how life has changed over billions of years. When you look at it that way, a simple chart becomes a roadmap through time, and it makes you wonder what other connections are still out there, just waiting for us to find them.